Excuse me? Feeling pretty good about your haul today?
Yeah, I think so. We talked about moving up. There was a left back that we targeted early. As he started to slip, we put in a few offers that the price got a little high. So we sat, and to be honest, when Kadich fell into our lap, we were shocked. So it was perfect. That part worked out very well. He's a guy who brings some size, very good in front of goal. Talking with a lot of the other coaches down at the combine, they saw him as one of the top players, not just the top forward. So a kid who's an underdog, a kid who I'm high on. We watched a bunch. We targeted. We had some good contacts that monitored him all year, and to have him fall to 31, to sit there at 31 and 41 and not have to move and get two quality players. Bird too is a sleeper. I think a guy that slipped a little bit because of missing the combine. I think that hurt him a little bit with the little groin injury, but a guy who's a winner. He won a national championship with Virginia, and a guy who's a two-way midfielder we see that can be a backup to Vincent and come and fight for a spot on the team. So it's good.
Jim, when step right in and be a guy that can make an impact for you.
Yeah, you never want to rush a young player, especially goal scorers. They're temperamental. They run high and low. But this kid is battle tested. His story when we interviewed him is a tough one. People probably don't know. He had a career at Kaiserslautern in Germany, so he's been in a pro environment before. So it's not a shock to his system when he comes in day one. He knows what it's like to be around men, and his background. I'll let you guys dig a little deeper on his background, but I don't want to speak for the kid. But his story is a tough one. He's a man. When you see him upset up on the stage, that was real emotion. So again, a guy who we're high on, and a guy that we think can come in and score goals. But again, I don't want to put the burden on the kid. He's not going to be the guy from the start. I don't want to put that burden on him.
It's easy enough to scout a guy who's at UVA. How difficult is it to scout an NAIA kid?
Yeah, the NAIA, we actually have a good network. Peter Fuller in our academy and BJ Callahan have done a great job scouting. Peter comes from an NAIA school, so we had that connection. Enough people put in calls. Rennie Muhlenstein was actually big on it too. He can scroll through a bunch of texts that he received about Kadich that were intriguing to us. And the more we monitored him, the more we saw that he could be a guy that fits MLS. We were actually disappointed that he got invited to the combine because we thought he'd be kind of an under-the-radar guy. When he came and started to impress and was probably the best player on the field in the first game, we were nervous, and thinking again maybe we have to trade up. But for him to fall into our lap at 31 was a bonus.
When you interviewed him, did you at that point expect this guy's going to be here at 31?
No. To be blunt, no. Because he's battle tested. Like I said, he's been a pro before, so this isn't his first rodeo. To score the amount of goals, I don't care what the level is. To have the strike rate that he had, it's good. And then talking, like I said, with a lot of my fellow teammates that are now MLS coaches in the league, they were all very high on him. So for him to fall to 31, we were shocked.
What range did you expect him to go in?
Top 10. Yeah, there was people that were talking about him in the top 10. So again, it was a pleasant surprise. We're happy with how it went, but this draft, and I've told you guys this before, it's not a perfect science from picks 5 through 40. You could flip a coin with some guys, because there's a little uncertainty. There was a couple stars maybe at the top, but I think you'll see. You have to let 2 or 3 years go by before you can actually look back and evaluate this draft. So that's kind of the one message I'd give. And this one was more so than usual because I believe there's still good kids that weren't selected today. So again, it's a deep one. It may not have had the high-end talent that you're used to, but some good depth there.
A couple more guys.
Is Kadich one of those guys that you mentioned in the conference call as being a guy that you considered trading up for? Was he one of those guys?
He was, but again, the price to move up isn't necessarily for the player. You know what I mean? Because you never reveal who you're moving up for. So again, he was a guy that we considered moving up for. The price is to move up for a draft as I'll say, just solid draft, we're high. So again, there was people with some uncertainty that were willing to move picks because you saw a variety of picks throughout the draft. Some guys not even on people's radars that were selected. So for Kadich to slip, it was a good day for us.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,